Alright, YouTube, just leaving work. Thought I'd go ahead and, this is kind of a hard video for me to do. I'm not trying to be negative, I'm just trying to be very objective in terms of what I want to do for the rest of my YouTube career. For starters, I will never be replying to the Bernie Bros ever again, so don't talk to me or my son ever again, please. But I'll tell you why, because the only time I would like to have a discussion with you guys is in front of a large audience. So, like a neutral party could basically hear both sides. Some of you guys, to your credit, some of you guys do very good representing the Bernie camp. However, I'm on the other side, so we don't really have anything to discuss unless it's for the benefit of other people listening and deciding for themselves. That's one thing that Mark Collett taught me was, just don't waste your time arguing or discussing things with people online, because it's just really pointless. It's a waste of both of our time. But I have so much against Bernie Sanders, I really do. And I really don't like the type of base that he has either. I mean, individually, they're nice. A lot of my friends are actually Bernie Bros. And most of us don't talk politics, some of us do. They really give me shit for being a Trump fan, but it's like, whatever, It's a free country. And it's a free country. It's, reciprocal as you guys get to support Bernie Sanders. But Trump is a progressive in his own right, just as Bernie Sanders is a progressive. Both, and you look at the progressives in the past, we had Woodrow Wilson, Theodore Roosevelt. You could even argue Ronald Reagan was progressive, and I'll explain what I mean by progressive. So, excuse me. Progressive means that you use the government to affect change in society. And I believe Trump is trying to do that right now, but he is a right-wing progressive. I guess similar to how Teddy Roosevelt was. Well, I mean, I guess you can't really say that. That's just because Teddy had a R after his name doesn't make Trump and him the same. Both are just for what it's worth, both are Zionists, or Teddy Roosevelt was a Zionist, for what it's worth. But yeah, I feel that Trump is a progressive in his own right because he wants to make America great again. He wants to keep America great. That goes beyond just government, that goes on into society. I think even if Trump doesn't truly want this, if it's just his sales pitch, I would say that his base are mostly concerned about preserving the traditional home, the traditional man and woman. And just a little aside here, I was so disgusted this morning. I walked in. Actually, I'll say that for the end. But that's one thing that we want to see. We don't want to see people experimenting with different genders or anything like that, because it's just not healthy. Or at least we don't want our own families to be doing that, and people within our own communities. Unfortunately, it's really hard for me in Santa Cruz to really find anybody to relate to in that regard. But they're around. We keep to ourselves for the most part, and that's fine. But I'll go ahead and tell you what I saw this morning. I saw a man and a woman who were dressed very, very, what do you call it, skanky clothing. She had a very short skirt on. He had, just very, very tight shorts. I mean, they were very repulsive people. They were, he's a soy boy. She's, I don't know what her deal was. Very, very short hair. So there's obviously some gender bending going on there. That's not really a problem. The problem is that they had their son with them, who was wearing like tights and a mini skirt, and I had just like these pink shoes, and I felt so fucking sorry for the kid. And the Latino couple ahead of me, they were clearly disgusted. I mean, that's at least my judgment, but another sidebar here. Latinos and blacks are most likely to support Trump because they are Trump's message is more conservative. I would say that most Latinos and most blacks, especially the families, are a lot more conservative. I talked about this before, actually, in my previous video, talking about Pete Buttigieg visiting Al Sharpton. So, yeah, that was very, very disappointing. But you see, that's the thing. The Trump supporters, we don't want to see that kind of thing. We think that's very subversive to our own culture. Excuse me. And so, in that regard, I think Trump is a progressive, unless he doesn't advocate for legislation that would either directly or indirectly affect change in society. One of the things that we and his base are very, especially in the alt-right base, they're very upset about the fact that Trump did not rescind DACA, which is very easy. He could actually do that via executive order, as far as I'm concerned. Jared Taylor pointed this out, and Jared Taylor is a very, very fine man, very well-educated, well-spoken, sticks to his guns, but and very pro-white, and I appreciate that about Jared Taylor. And the same goes with Mark Collett as well. They're very good members on the right to have. But they were upset about that, you know. If Trump were to rescind that, that would be progress. That'd be a very progressive thing for him to do. I don't like how the left has hijacked the term progressive, because it doesn't just apply to the left, it can also apply to the right. You could even call Jair Bolsonaro progressive, you know, as he's utilizing his armed forces, going into schools and colleges and other campuses, and basically just taking any type of material out that's subversive, like gender studies, gender bending, anything that's pro-LGBT. By the way, I'm not pro-LGBT, I'm against gay marriage, for what it's worth. I used to be for it, but I'm not anymore. Like I said, I'm more interested in preserving the tradition of America. This country was originally founded by white settlers, and the religion was mixed. I mean, there were some pagans, there were some Christians, Protestants, Catholics, I'm sure. In the minority, there were probably some Muslims and Jews. That came along secondary. They weren't the initial pioneers, if you will. But anyways, I thought I'd go ahead and make this video, guys. No hard feelings. If we happen to bump into each other in town, yeah, I'd rather have a conversation face to face, you know, man to man. If you guys are game, you know where to find me. I'm here in Santa Cruz. You know, I go to the same places every day. Let's see if these people are walking. Yeah, we're good. But yeah, sorry, I just got a little distracted crossing the street here. Thank you. But that's the reason why I don't really care to speak with the Bernie Sanders supporters in my comment sections, you know. Besides, it's like, I don't know if I'm wasting my own time. I figure you guys are wasting your time, because I'm not going to change my mind on my politics. I'm very based in that regard. I'm going to stay based and just continue to support Trump, and continue to criticize Trump when he deserves it. I'm not going to be a sycophant, you know. It's not really in my interest. I'm more of a objective, critical thinker. But you know, there's just too many differences for us to continue to discuss over here online, because me personally, I'm more concerned about the CIA interfering with our lives on a daily basis, you know, whether it be through propaganda, through Operation Mockingbird. You know, it's defunct, but there's always going to be something to take its place. So, just as a nomenclature and colloquialism, you know, we just call it Mockingbird media. And that, you know, as well as the CIA planes flying above Santa Cruz, spraying aluminum, barium, and strontium in the air, which causes the atmosphere to be more conductive. Thus, they can shoot high-energy particles to the ionosphere, which manipulates the weather, and I can't even begin to explain how that works, but it does. And, you know, if the Bernie bros were a little more concerned about that, like if they were less trusting of the government, I think I'd be game with them. But that's the thing, the Bernie bros are very assuming that the government is supposed to be a benevolent force when it really is truly the enemy of the people. That and the media is the enemy of the people, not the alternative media. I am a member of the alternative media, but the Mockingbird media, which is the CIA, which is the government, so it's basically all one and the same. The government, it's just what we would all like to see is a very, very small government. The only thing that we'd like to see our government be is essentially armed forces. That would be enough for us. And not involving any kind of tax money, like completely self-funded. We could do that, especially if you start to loosen up the gun laws. People begin to arm themselves, things will kind of work out. And it's like, actually, what do we really need government for, honestly? I still don't really understand that. I could just, I'd be completely content with corporations and small business taking over everything. Because there's really nothing wrong with corporations. I mean, and there's really nothing wrong with competition or, dog eating dog or survival of the fittest, natural selection. There's really nothing wrong with that. We are animals after all, Homo sapiens sapiens. So I just don't have any more discussion to have with you guys, the Bernie Bros. So, and I do feel kind of bad for straw manning you guys, because, some of you might be real people, some of you might be just paid shills, but that's kind of one of the factors I considered in terms of me trying to preserve. Whoa. That's one of the factors in me trying to preserve my own time. The short while that I have left on this earth. I mean, you never know what's going to happen, so just want to, live life. But having said that, it's just I don't want to waste my time going back and forth with the Bernie Bros about why my taxes should be higher. It's just kind of a dumb thing. And, I shouldn't call you guys cocks or anything like that. It's straw manning, but, it's just the impression I get, honestly. So, it's all good, guys. Anyways, thank you so much for 12 minutes, damn, long video. Alright, guys. As always, I always stop here. Alright, guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless. And I'll see you when I get home in a couple hours.